taking action for you. This morning on TV 20 Detroit starts right now.
It's Amp Fiddler, and you're watching PulseBeat.tv. It's funky, y'all. Check it out. It's live. It's Amp Fiddler. It's live. It's Greg Dunmore live. PulseBeat.tv.
PulseBeat. Welcome to the Emmy-nominated PulseBeat with Greg Dunmore. Although June is Black Music Month, we celebrate it 24/7, and there's no name more profound, more outstanding, more magnificent than Amp Fiddler. As we stand in front of the Elaine Jacob Gallery, they are celebrating the magnificence of this genius of music, and we had a chance to talk to him in a rare interview. So stay tuned as we chronicle Amp being honored from a street renaming to this gallery that is going to spotlight the magnificence of the one and only Amp Fiddler. Amp Fiddler, now you know I'm thrilled to talk to the legendary Amp Fiddler, and you are a living legend. So this is a moment in history as we talk to you. So everybody know this is a moment of history talking to Amp Fiddler. Now you have been on the proverbial cutting edge, and I have to ask you, has it cut you?
It has not cut me. It's been beautiful, and this cutting edge that I'm on has been a great ride, and I'm still riding it.
Baby, you're gone away. You say you'll never come back again. I know that if I don't think about you, I'll be sad, baby. If I don't not think about you, I'll be mad.
And that was a tune, All in a Dream, and this is new material from Amp Fiddler's Bass Mentality 3, his latest album release. We have Amp Fiddler in studio. What's happening, my brother?
Life is all in a dream.
You got it, man. Thank you, Jim.
Dude,
I appreciate that, man.
love that tune.
That's my friend Liddell Abrams on drums, and I wrote that song with my friend Mike Shav and Paul Carr, and it just felt like, for me, life has been kind of, really strange. So I kind of put it in writing. Sometimes, even the good side is great, but sometimes we don't know why God does certain things that take us where they take us, but sometimes they feel like this can't be real, this must be a dream.
I want to just revisit just a few things that you have done. And one thing that I've always been impressed by, because I like to, the old and new, and that is the formula of the marriage of what is yet to come. And when I met you years ago, you were smart enough to understand even the importance of knowing who Cab Calloway was.
That's right.
And you had an album out, a CD project, Regeneration, right, where you ended up, tell the audience, remixing
Nat King Cole. And that was fun because I've been a fan of Nat King Cole for years because he's a great piano player and a great singer. So it was challenging for me because it's like, how do you remix someone so great? And you don't have an acapella. This is the record that you have to remix.
Say the word, you'll be heard, I'll be there. Makes no difference where it leaves me.
So it was a great opportunity that I had to do that. And I met his daughter, which was beautiful. And I wish I could have met him, but it was amazing just for me to speak to his daughter and ask her questions about growing up with her dad, Nat King Cole. Because you remember he had a television show at one time. He was huge. People don't even know to this day how huge he really was as an artist. As a black man, one of the first black men to ever have their own television shows.
Yeah, I was just actually watching a vintage version of Nat King Cole with the great Eartha Kitt, who was the first American star to ever record in the French language. You've been all over the world, and a lot of people don't realize that Nat King Cole was the first American star to ever record in the Spanish language. But I'm claiming the regeneration based on you as a new genre of music where you mix classic vocalists and you remix them and take them to where they need to be. Now, there's another name, too, that you work with, and she's a newer name, Kareen Bailey Ray. Let us know about that project.
That is from my Afro Strut album. I met her and her husband in Texas. I went to meet them there because her husband was a fan of mine and we were friends. He was an amazing saxophone player. So I went to the show and hung out with them, their manager, and we talked about how we could collaborate. So we decided at the end of the day that I would remix one of her songs and she would perform on one of my songs for me, which is If I Don't.
'Cause everything I feel about our love, turn around, you what I've been dreaming of.
Baby, you've gone away, say you'll never come back again.
And I know that if I don't
Think about you, I'll be sad.
yeah, if I don't stop thinking about you, I'll be mad.
If I don't not think about you, I'll be glad. 'Cause if I don't think about you, everything all about is kind of blue. And boy, you know how life is gonna change.
And if you leave me alone, I will never call you up again. And deep inside you know that if I don't.
So that's how,
Video was out of sight street.
yeah, so
That
we
was in
did that.
claymation.
That's right. That's our English company. Our English is all signed to a label in England at the time. So they put money up and made the video. So it was good. Actually, that's one of my biggest songs to this day.
If I don't not think about you, I'll be glad.
You'll be out of my life, baby.
PulseBeat. If you like what we're doing, please tell a friend, or if you want to see what we've done again, go to pulsebeatglobal.com. That's PULSEBEATGLOBAL.com. You can also go to our PulseBeat TV YouTube channel and you can revisit what we're doing. And once again, you can tell everybody that we're doing something that is so exciting that they wouldn't want to miss it. Remember pulsebeatglobal.com or the YouTube channel PulseBeat TV. Thanks for telling the world about us.
There's a new way to travel, and it's one of the oldest forms of transportation, travel by train. Yes, consider traveling around the United States on Amtrak. Traveling by train is a lot less of a headache than taking a plane, and you'd be surprised how many places you can go on an Amtrak. And there's no passports or IDs needed. Find out how to get where you're going as soon as tomorrow by train. Call the Amtrak Travel Hotline right now. We'll book your trip and email your tickets within minutes. Skip the drive to the airport and skip the lines. Call right now to book your Amtrak reservations. We service most of the United States. Do something new. Travel by Amtrak today. Find out how to get where you're going as soon as tomorrow by train. Call the Amtrak Travel Hotline right now.
Call 855-827-5004. That's 855-827-5004. Again, 855-827-5004.
You ready to put your podcast on iHeartRadio? Yes, your podcast on iHeartRadio. What about Alexa, Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Android, or iPhone? Plus live TV streaming. Get your podcast seen and heard all over the world. Call 313-868-6612. Pre-recorded shows are accepted to be archived. This is a WHPR distribution platform. Download the app from the App Store. Go to WHPRTV.com. Channels available for lease 24/7 on Roku, Fire Stick, or Apple TV. Coming soon, subscription and pay-per-view.
PulseBeat. and it is my profound honor to welcome you to this historic moment right here in the heart of Conant Gardens. I grew up 10 blocks right from this corner. So this is not only going to be a celebration of Amp Fiddler, the city of Detroit, but Conant Gardens. Stand up. Conant Gardens. Yes. This moment here, right here on the corner of Revere, 7 Mile with Persian sitting in the background. How many doughboys we got in the audience today? So this is where the magic happens, right here in this neighborhood. In that house turned studio on this very block. Today this will be official. His name is going to live on every time someone turns down the street, every time a child asks who was Amp Fiddler, every time an artist is inspired to dream a little bigger. Amp Fiddler Avenue is going to speak volumes. Yeah. So, all right, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday! 1, 2, 3. Happy
birthday! One of the things that I love about hearing and just the smiles that I see from everyone is that Amp Fiddler, that he really truly stayed humble. He stayed rooted in his community. He stayed, committed to the music and to the art of what he loved. And so it's so important to come together. So I have the honor and distinct honor as a member of Congress to put it in our record, in our U.S. history. It'll be in the Congressional Journal forever. And I'm just so blessed to have been part of, again, celebrating his life here today.
There's something very spiritual about Amp Fiddler. We recently were at the street renaming Amp Fiddler Avenue, and now we're at the gallery opening of the great Amp Fiddler, and it is entitled Waltz of the Ghetto Fly.
Amp was one of those people, there's been just a few people in my life that they struck that chord, you have that connection with them, it's eternal. There's so much love there, and it hurts so much to have him gone. There was just a closeness, there was a connection, there was a spirit, whether it was music or artistic. We had some projects we were going to work on, and they didn't quite happen, and I wish we could have gotten that done. But his spirit, his love, just being in his presence, he made you feel everything.
Cat smile. He was Montreal Jazz, Cape Town, Europe, and East 7 Mile. A gentleman who walked with pride and filled the rooms. His laugh was haiku.
Let us know Amp from the renaming of the Amp Fiddler Avenue to now the exhibition at Wayne State.
I just been inside and been able to peruse for like a couple of minutes, and it was already moved emotionally and had to walk out. So it's a lot. I was here for the Dilla exhibition, which was beautifully done as well. This is touching me in a different kind of way. And when you see those album covers, you see how much this man has given to the world. People I know are gonna be like, he did that many records? He did that much? That stuff that's been under the radar. So it makes me think of so many artists that also love him, like Joy and Kimberly Nicole and other sisters that I know that do work very hard with this thing called art and music and poetry and singing and love, right? At the center of all of it, and don't always get the flowers while they're here. So I'm glad he's getting the flowers now, and I'm glad I got to give him some when he was still with us.
The thing that made Amp so wonderful was he understood the beauty of all music, and be it from Motown to jazz. Yes. He certainly was someone that understood that music is multi-dimensional. Your thoughts on Amp Fiddler, who you knew well?
Well, I think Amp bridged the past with the present and into the future. He had it all under his belt, the digital, he loved using real instruments, and his technique was just, nobody does it better. It's his musical techniques. And he had a grip on what happened in the past, like I said. He loved Motown, he loved jazz, and he really encompassed all the genres there and came up with his own little style.
he adored Marcus. I mean, he literally adored him. And
Marcus Belgrave.
And one of the things about Amp was that he was so brilliant and so talented, yet so humble. You know, I mean, that's what really impressed me about him. One day I was in New York, and Amp called me and said, "Joan, can you recommend a jazz pianist that I can take lessons from?" And I'm like, "Amp, are you serious?" You know? And he says, "Yeah, you know, I'm always learning, and you know, I need to work on my jazz chops. So please just give me somebody who I can call." And you know, I think that humbleness, even though he was so skilled and so brilliant, I think that's what made him great, because he kept his heart, his spirit where it should have been.
You knew him well.
Yes, he was on the road with me. We were on the road together as P-Funk All-Stars. We handled it. You know, we did our thing, and he's amazing. Amazing. Fun.
So I'm going to ask the question, when you were putting this exhibition together, the inspiration
is Amp.
And this exhibition, I want everyone to text, I want everyone to how you communicate through all the various devices, and let people know that this exhibition will be here until September
20.
Yeah, so reinforce that though, because we need everybody to come, especially young people. This has been glorious, from the renaming of a street, Amp Fiddler Avenue, to this outstanding exhibition at the Elaine Jacobs Gallery. It doesn't get any better than this. So let us know your feelings, because you have been so instrumental in making much of this happen.
It's so important that people know Amp's story. A lot of times when you Google Amp, you find the same general information about P-Funk and J Dilla, and that's significant, but there's so much to his story. His life is so expansive. His career has been so expansive, and the people that he's poured into. So it's important for me to expose people to everyone he was connected to, his skills, his brilliance. So that's what this exhibit is about. And because it's in an educational institution, I wanted to teach them about the brother.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-4713. That's 855-348-4713. Again, 855-348-4713.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service, our satisfaction guarantee, and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill.
When you talk about, I think, a turning point commercially, it had to do with a fly. Let the audience know.
Waltz of a Ghetto Fly basically really had to do with, you wouldn't know, but Waltz of a Ghetto Fly had to do with when I was growing up and you were growing up, the way that we walked and the way that we watched our elders walk. So it was brothers in my neighborhood that was so cool, shark skin suits, killer hats, gabardine shirts, just always clean, walking through the hood, but they had a certain way that they walk and a certain rhythm. And that song says, deep in the black of the mind lies a funky of another kind. It's the rhythm God give 'em. It's a waltz of a ghetto fly.
This
Detroit players in the house tonight.
It's the return of a ghetto fly.
Back in action, baby.
It's the return of a ghetto fly.
So it's like Superfly, basically. But so it's the way we walk. It's the rhythm that we have as a people.
Now, you're one of these blessed guys. I consider guys like you and guys like Prince and even Lenny Kravitz, that you guys are in this kind of zone where no matter how young these guys think that they're cutting edge and cool, nobody can upstage you, or nobody can upstage a Prince, nobody can upstage a Lenny Kravitz. I mean, where does this come from when you just are timeless in your coolness?
This comes from Detroit for me. This comes from my experience with watching my elders, with learning my history, and just having my own independence in a lot of ways. And for me, I look at it like there's always going to be some young up-and-coming artist that's going to be better than me or different, but I'm going to have my own entity that's going to be great about what I do. So I think this just the independence of who you are, and everybody's got their own swing. It's that same thing over again. It's deep in the black of your mind lies the funky of another kind. It's the rhythm God gives you, different than anybody else. Everybody has their own individual swag.
And when we talk about swag and cool, I saw you at a concert that was historical in Detroit with Bootsy Collins. And I know that you have a relationship with Bootsy and the whole P-Funk and the George Clinton movement. So let us know about that relationship and what makes a Bootsy Collins somebody that can still grab that audience like nobody's business.
You know, I met George in the 80s after I met you at Incognito, and I did a session for him. He sent the check up to the clothing store I was working at. Amp Fiddler, and I'm in the studio with George Clinton with my amplified funk, y'all. Because I've always been involved with fashion, so that's how I got started, and I started going to the studio. Eventually, I met Bootsy as well, and it was just amazing meeting the both of them. And to me, Bootsy, and to watch him play and to watch him do what he does encompasses all of the experiences that he's had with James Brown.
James Brown saw what I could do. He saw that I had the funk. I didn't know what the funk I had.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get up, get on it. Get up, get on it.
I'm a young kid out there scuffling. So James looked at me and he said, funk is making something out of nothing.
And all the other, and his brother Catfish. And when he comes on stage, you can see that. It's a performance. He learns so much in his experience with dealing with performing. It's just always an amazing show, and he will never let you down. It's always tight, it's always rehearsed, and it's always going to be a great performance, and it's always going to be a show. And when you see it, it's always going to be amazing visuals. So I think that it's just always going to be like that with those artists who understand the performance of it all.
Yeah, that is so true. And when you talk about actually controlling your destiny, now you're one of these guys that you're like a fine piece of art that what you do musically, it appreciates into great value. And when we are no longer here, Amp Fiddler's music is going to be collectible. It will still be current. It's going to still be inspiring people. So let us know about the current project that you have out at this moment, and how can those who want to have a piece of art which is going to appreciate and value, how can they get it ASAP?
My music is now sold on a site called Bandcamp, BANDCAMP. Search Amp Fiddler. I have 2 records there and 1 song by a group that I'm producing called Digitarians, who is the group about universal extraterrestrialism, the universe, the stars, the moon, our connection to that, and any social issues that we have that's going on. So, but other than that, there's 2 albums there, and they're both by title of Bass Mentality 2 and Bass Mentality 3, where people can buy my music, and that's on bandcamp.com.
All right, so therefore, we know that the art collectors, because when somebody purchases your music, it's like the Basquiat, when you get a piece of fine art and you know you got to keep it because the value year after year only becomes higher. So get it now because it will be definitely a piece of art. It's a collectible, as they say. Thanks for saluting us by watching Pulsebeat with Greg Dunmore on this episode where we saluted the one and only Amp Fiddler. And remember, you can continue to honor him by visiting this wonderful exhibition at the Elaine Jacob Gallery on Wayne State's campus in Detroit, Michigan, which is going to be here until September 20th. And on next week's show, we're going to have a chance to talk to one of the founders of 112. You know, that's the group that P. Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs, put his minus touch on.
112 raised me. Everything that I know about an artist, creativity, the R&B genre, just the walk, the talk, the everything. I owe to 112. 112 raised me, and so when you see me as Q Parker, just know that I'm always a representation of 112 and just the years and the catalog and the history and just the love of four brothers from Atlanta who just wanted to be in a situation where we could be creative and sing and bring music into the homes of millions worldwide.
And we're going to talk to Q Parker, and it's going to be a very insightful conversation. And if you want to know more about what we do, remember, we want to hear from you. So go to pulsebeatglobal.com. That's PULSEBEATGLOBAL.com so we can know how you feel about what we do. Until the next go round, you're watching Pulsebeat with Greg Dunmore.
Baby, 'cause if you see me walking, I've been dreaming about you. I've got no